Sidi Gañsiri.
Wakanda is not only a kingdom on screen, it is a nation made of memory, loss, pride, and the voices of ancestors. And one of the most powerful ways Marvel chose to introduce this world to audiences was through a song. The track known as Wakanda, composed by Swedish musician and composer Ludwig Göransson and carried by the voice of the legendary Senegalese singer Baaba Maal, is more than background music. It is a lament, an invocation, and a sonic map of a people. To understand this music, we have to travel not just to Wakanda, but to Senegal, to the banks of the Senegal River, where Baaba Maal was born and raised in the Pulaar tradition, and where songs are not written for entertainment alone, but for ceremony, memory, and identity. Ludwig Göransson, tasked with composing the score for Black Panther, knew he could not simply invent the sound of Africa from a Hollywood studio. He traveled, he listened, he asked questions, and he met Baaba Maal while on tour in Senegal. That encounter shaped the entire score. The voice you hear in the song Wakanda is sung in Pulaar, the language of the Fula people. It is not English, it is not simplified for a global ear, and that choice matters. It anchors Wakanda in a real, breathing tradition. The lyrics are short, but they are dense with meaning. Baaba Maal calls out,
Sidi Gañsiri Demba.
In English translation, it means, Sidi Gañsiri Demba, noble one, and the whole village. The elephant has been killed, be aware of that. You, whom 10 fingers give and will never tell you. It repeats with the same cry, naming the ancestor and naming the loss. Let us slow down with those words. The repeated name, Sidi Gañsiri Demba, is a lineage call. Sidi, son of Gañsiri, grandson of Demba from the Toorodo nobility class. A way of saying this song belongs to ancestors as much as to the present moment. Then comes the word Sare, which means the whole community, the entire land, not just one family but everyone bound together. And then comes the line that chills. The elephant has been killed, be aware of that. In West African imagery, the elephant is not only an animal, it is a symbol of strength, of wisdom, of leadership. To announce its death is to declare that a great one has fallen. In the context of the film, it mirrors the death of T'Chaka, Wakanda's king, and the weight T'Challa inherits. But in the cultural root, it is a metaphor that goes beyond story into the eternal reality of mortality, leadership, and memory. The next line is even more cryptic. You, whom 10 fingers give and will never tell you. Scholars of Pulaar poetry say this is a lament for the unrecognized, for those who work, give, and sacrifice, yet remain unspoken. It is a reminder that a nation stands not only on its kings, but also on the unacknowledged labor of its people. The phrase brings humility into the grandeur, a grounding that reminds us Wakanda, no matter how futuristic, is still built on ordinary lives and their sacrifices. Baaba Maal's performance is not simply beautiful singing. His voice carries decades of experience in ceremonial music. It rises with a cry that is almost mournful, but not without pride. His tone is cracked with age, textured with memory, and that makes it believable. If Wakanda were real, if its ancestors could sing, it would sound like this. And Ludwig Göransson knew this, which is why he placed Baaba Maal's voice at the heart of the score. The music underneath is just as carefully chosen. The talking drum, an instrument whose pitch bends with pressure, is used to speak rhythmically, almost like language. In West Africa, the drum is not only percussion, it is conversation, it is announcement, it is code. Masamba Diop, one of the masters of the talking drum, performed for the soundtrack, and his rhythms echo through Wakanda. They carry both urgency and reverence, shaping the voice of Baaba Maal like footsteps leading him forward. Around them, Göransson layers orchestral swells, strings, and brass. They rise not to overpower, but to frame the voice, as if the orchestra were the land, and Maal the spirit hovering over it. When you hear Wakanda in the film, it comes at the first reveal of the nation. We, the audience, are shown a futuristic kingdom hidden in Africa, And yet the music does not give us synthetic sounds of technology. Instead, it gives us memory, ancestors, and lament. This is deliberate. Wakanda is not only vibranium and skyscrapers, it is also lineage, mourning, and story. The film wants us to feel not just awe, but reverence. The choice of Pulaar language is itself a statement. In a world where filmmakers often choose Pan-African cliches or languages that feel recognizable, Baaba Maal sings in the language of his people. It tells the audience that Africa is not a monolith. There are hundreds of languages, hundreds of traditions, each with their own metaphors and histories. To make Wakanda feel real, it had to be rooted in something specific, not generic. Even the metaphor of the elephant deepens the resonance. Elephants in many African traditions are keepers of memory. They travel in herds, they protect each other, they never forget paths or watering holes. To say the elephant is dead is to say memory has been wounded, leadership has been lost, and protection is gone. It is grief turned into song. And yet, because the song itself is sung aloud, it becomes more than grief. It becomes remembrance, and remembrance is a form of resistance. In this way, Wakanda is not only an introduction to a fictional kingdom, it is a statement about how cultures remember their dead, how nations honor their fallen, and how art turns mourning into identity. It is also a reminder that every futuristic vision, even one as dazzling as Wakanda, must face the same human truths. Kings die, people labor unseen, memory is fragile, and music is the thread that ties the present to the ancestors. This is why the track still resonates long after the credits roll, because audiences may not understand the Pulaar words, but they feel the weight of them. They hear the grief, the reverence, the call to community. They sense the depth. And when Baaba Maal's voice soars over Göransson's orchestration, something ancient and something cinematic meet, and for a moment, a fictional nation feels utterly real. So the next time you listen to Wakanda, remember what those lyrics mean. Remember that when Baaba Maal sings "The elephant has been killed," he is singing not just of loss, but of responsibility, of the need for those left behind to be aware, to step forward, to continue. And remember that his voice is not just an ornament of a score, but the heartbeat of a nation that exists only on screen, but feels alive because it is rooted in real history, real language, and real mourning. And perhaps that is the true brilliance of this track. In 2 minutes of music, it turns sound into soil, lyrics into lineage, and a fictional kingdom into a believable reality. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my next deep dive. Wakanda forever.